Black Ridge, Nevada, was a small mining town hidden deep in the American desert, surrounded by empty highways and endless dry land. It was the kind of place most people passed through without stopping, and if they did stop, they rarely remembered it afterward. The town had a population of just over 8,000 people. There was a gas station near the highway, a modest diner, a small motel, a school, and rows of quiet houses stretching toward the desert. Nothing about Black Ridge suggested importance. There were no famous landmarks, no historic events, and no stories that made the news. Life followed a simple routine. People woke up early, went to work, and returned home as the sun disappeared behind the hills. Children went to school. Businesses opened and closed at the same hours every day. The gas station lights stayed on through the night for passing trucks. For decades, nothing unusual happened in Black Ridge. No disasters, no strange events, no unexplained incidents, at least none that were publicly known. That sense of normality is what makes the night of October 14th, 2009, so disturbing. The evening began quietly. Phone signals were stable. Internet connections worked. Televisions played their usual programs. Most of the town was asleep by 10 o'clock. Then slowly things began to change. Mobile phone signals weakened without explanation. Internet connections slowed to a crawl. A few residents noticed their televisions losing reception. At first, no one was concerned. Rural towns experienced outages all the time. But as the night went on, the atmosphere grew heavier. The desert became unnaturally quiet. There was no wind, no insects, and no distant sound from the highway. Only silence. Shortly after 2 o'clock in the morning, something unprecedented occurred. Black Ridge disappeared, not physically, but digitally. Navigation systems could no longer locate the town. Online maps showed empty desert where streets had existed just hours before. Satellite images refreshed, only to reveal missing data, as if the town had never been there at all. To the outside world, Black Ridge no longer existed. Truck drivers approaching the area reported that their GPS devices malfunctioned. Routes recalculated endlessly. Some systems guided drivers toward the town, then abruptly redirected them away. One driver later claimed he reached the exact location of the gas station, but instead of a building, there was only darkness and open land. No lights, no signs, no sound. Inside Black Ridge, however, nothing seemed to change. Streetlights remained on. Homes were occupied. People slept peacefully, unaware that the rest of the world could no longer see them. The town continued its night as if nothing had happened. For 6 hours, Black Ridge remained invisible to digital systems. Then just before morning, the town returned. Maps restored themselves, satellite images corrected. Search results reappeared. According to official records, nothing unusual had occurred. Later that day, authorities issued a brief explanation. They described the event as a temporary satellite synchronization error, a rare technical glitch. No cause for concern. No investigation followed. No detailed report was released. And no explanation was given for why only one town was affected. After that night, Black Ridge was never quite the same. Some residents reported strange dreams. Others said time felt distorted during the outage. A few claimed the town felt different, smaller, closer to the desert, as if something had shifted. Over the following months, people began to leave. Not gradually, and not over many years, but suddenly. Homes were sold, businesses closed, the school lost students, the diner shut its doors. By 2012, Black Ridge was no longer listed as an active town. By 2015, it officially ceased to exist. Today, there are no welcome signs, no marked entrances, and no official records that place Blackridge on modern maps. Only fragments remain in archived satellite data. Black spaces, missing images, unrendered frames. Officially, the event was nothing more than a technical failure. Unofficially, no one agrees on what really happened. Some believe it was an experiment, others suspect a classified operation. A few believe the town briefly slipped outside of something we still do not understand. What is certain is this: for 6 hours, an entire town vanished from the digital world. And if Blackridge never truly disappeared, why did the world lose track of it at all? After the night of Blackridge's disappearance, the town became a place of rumors and whispers. Former residents would speak quietly about the feeling of emptiness, the silence that hung in the desert, and the strange distortion of time that they experienced. Some insisted they saw shadows where there should have been light, or heard noises that no one else could explain. The authorities never returned. They issued no further statements, leaving the mystery unsolved. Local newspapers published short, unconfirmed stories, and quickly moved on to other events. Yet, the legend of Blackridge spread quietly among travelers, truck drivers, and amateur explorers who ventured into the Nevada desert. Maps today show the town as a small dot, unremarkable and easily overlooked. But those who know the story understand that Blackridge holds something unusual, something hidden, something the world refuses to recognize. People who enter the town's boundaries report subtle differences, roads that appear longer or shorter than they should, buildings that seem familiar yet subtly altered, and a pervasive feeling that time itself behaves differently within the town limits. The miners who remained longest described equipment failing without explanation. Generators would turn off, only to start again hours later. Radios picked up faint, indecipherable static. Clocks would run a few minutes fast or slow, as though the town existed slightly out of sync with the rest of the world. Even the desert surrounding Blackridge seemed to be aware of the anomaly. Wildlife behaved strangely, with nocturnal creatures appearing during the day and birds vanishing for periods longer than expected. Travelers spoke of endless dunes, roads that led nowhere, and sudden fog that appeared and disappeared without warning. The final chapter of Blackridge's story is one of abandonment and silence. Over the years, as residents moved away, homes were left to the desert winds, streets slowly swallowed by sand, and buildings deteriorated. Yet, despite the physical decay, the town retained its digital existence. Satellite images captured the remnants, showing ghostly outlines of structures and streets, as if the town had imprinted itself onto the desert. Some researchers who studied the area noticed anomalies in the data. Coordinates that should have led to empty desert returned partial signals. Satellite grids showed distortions. Maps sometimes displayed ghost streets, faint outlines that disappeared and reappeared between imaging cycles. The town had left a mark that was both there and not there, a paradox that remains unexplained. Legends of Blackridge continue to grow. Travelers swear the town can be felt, even if it cannot always be seen. Stories circulate online, in blogs and forums, of eerie experiences, untraceable GPS signals, and fleeting shadows in photographs taken nearby. For those who explore the Nevada desert, Blackridge is no longer just a small mining town. It is a mystery, a digital ghost, and a warning that some places may exist outside the normal rules of time and space. And perhaps one day someone will return, discover the truth, and finally answer the question that has haunted so many. If Blackridge never truly disappeared, why did the world almost forget it?